Hi, and welcome to Second Amendment Sis. I am Stephanie Rivers, and I'm here with my co-host, Phyllis Petit. How's it going, Phyllis?
It's going. Been a busy week. How about you?
It's been busy but productive. Wednesday already, almost the middle of August. Summer's almost over. Time is flying.
I don't know why my virtual screen won't quit moving.
I'm not sure. So it that or just today?
No, normally it doesn't, but I've been having a lot of connection problems. It took me a minute to get connected today. Like, it was just taking all of the. I need to probably take some of these things off of my computer, I think.
Yeah, I saw that you were on and then you went off. But at any rate, you're here and we're glad you're here because we got a lot to talk about. Let's start with this. The rise in hate crimes against Black and brown people has everyone on edge. So it's no wonder that a lot of people are on 10 with their situational awareness. When it comes to just even walking down the street, you turn around and see is the person who passed me, are they still walking, or are they coming up behind me now? So dang near everybody has their head on a swivel all day, every day. And at least it should be for your safety and for those in your care. So that's why I wanted I was like suggesting that we talk about what happened to this Asian smoke shop owner in Las Vegas a couple of days ago. What happened was essentially two white teenagers walked into his Las Vegas store with masks on. Now, I'm not talking about protective masks. I'm talking about like Halloween style masks.
Like burglary masks.
Burglary mask, could be. And in the middle of the summer. And so who can blame him for his spidey senses going off? So were they going to attack him? Were they going to shoot him? Was it just going to steal something? All the above, because all the above has happened to unsuspecting people just minding their own business. So we want to talk about that today. That's our What Would You Do? This is our What Would You Do episode of Second Amendment Sis. And we have people waiting in the wings to discuss it. And we want to show that video. Did you want to add anything to that preface before we bring in our
No, I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm good.
Well, we do want to show you the video. And we want you to call in and I'll put the link in the chat so you can tell us what would you do if this happened to you. But before we do that, we want to introduce you to our Leo expert who's going to give us his legal perspective on the issue. And of course, that's none other than Dwayne Gibson. He's our resident law enforcement officer expert. He's a retired FBI agent. Welcome to the show.
Hello, ladies. Thank you for having me again.
Hello, Dwayne.
Phyllis.
How are you?
Fine, and yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Stephanie's happy as usual.
I try to be try to look that way anyway. Try to look, not too threatening, but just enough so they will second guess whether they want to try me. But that's a whole nother show.
True.
So Dwayne, talk to us. So you've been involved in cases where you've prosecuted people or you've brought evidence to prosecute people before?
Oh, yes. more than my fair share, starting as an FBI agent in 1988. Contributed to people going to jail until 2016.
So then, okay, so then you're the person to have to talk about this. So we're going to show this video, and then we are going to invite some people to call in it. And while we play the video, then I'll be putting the link in the chat, or if you just want to chat about it. So I've already queued that. And it's maybe like a 2-minute long video, and it is posted on YouTube so people can go back and look at it. So have you seen the video before, Dwayne?
Yes, I like the ending.
You said
I like the ending.
you like the ending? Okay.
Yes. If you
We're
listen, okay, you see the gentleman jump over the counter.
so hold on. We're gonna play the video,
Okay.
and then you tell us what you like and don't like.
Okay. Oh, you'll probably like the same thing when you see the ending.
I did too.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I got everything lined up. And
Why are you guys wearing masks like that?
wait, what?
Can you guys just leave? Jacob. Can I just get the... Alright. Take the money in it. I keep the coins. I need the coins. Okay. Call 911.
Do not die, sir. Sorry. This is my idea. Do not die.
What? There was a robbery at my store, and one of the robbers...
Okay, so do you want me to play it again, or you want me to play it one more time, or no?
Oh, good.
Okay, so I'm going to put the link in the chat, but in the meantime, Dwayne, we'll start off with you. You tell us what you liked and don't like, or what your observation is, and then Phyllis, you take it from there.
Okay, we go from the beginning. We see these males come in first with the ski mask on, which is an automatic indicator they aren't there to participate in the sale of legal marijuana. He starts a conversation. You hear him kind of say, just take the money, leave me alone. He's in a corner. He's been cornered like an animal. So he's only got two options, fight or flight. When the gentleman decides to jump over the counter, he didn't run. He decided to fight. That shows that individual jumped over the counter, came into his personal space, potentially do him harm. He reacted in a fair manner. He stabbed him, I think, 7 times. And the part that I like, when you hear him when he's got the guy, he's dragging him, I'm dead. That tells me that's a teenager, young 20-year-old that's playing way too much Grand Theft Auto Miami or Call of Duty. Like in those movies and those video games, when you die, they let you come back. You saw he dragged him and threw him on the floor. And as far as I know, he didn't die. If you look at the video, you can see him kind of moving around. In this day and age, leave people alone. Knives never run out of bullets. Knives never run out of being sharp. If you got a knife sharpener, they stick, they hurt, and you die a slow death. It's not like getting shot with a bullet. Blow your heart up, blow your lungs out. It's over in a minute, or you bleed out. And he didn't stab him in his leg. He stabbed him on his. See, if I'm not mistaken, he stabbed him on that would be his left side.
Neck and shoulders.
He didn't spend a whole lot of time in his upper anatomy. He spent in the meaty areas. He didn't go inside the inner thighs, which is where your feral arteries are. He stayed on the outside. So I thought it was interesting when he said, I'm dead. Should have thought about that before he tried to rob that man. Should have stayed out of his business.
Mm-hmm. And when
He
he
went,
said it wasn't my idea, don't let me die.
hey, he should have jumped over there. The guy was kind enough to call 911.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't call 911, but if you decide you want to be a criminal, commit a felony, and you get stuck with a knife or you get shot, I have the capacity for you.
He chose. I mean, and his friend ran off and left him so fast. And he's
Yeah,
going, come back. I'm like,
yeah.
dude, he's gone. He's
Hey,
gone.
Phyllis. Hey, Phyllis. Remember the other one with the brother, and he tried to rob the old white guy, and he shot him. My arm shot off.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Being a criminal ain't what it used to be no more.
It sure ain't. You never know who you walking up on. And I'm quite sure they never suspected that he would pull
Fight
out a
back.
knife and just start sticking somebody, because I was shocked, right? It's not something you see commonly in a shop getting robbed where you're close enough proximity to the person that's threatening you to stab you. But that's the second stabbing I've seen here in a few months, because in New York a few weeks ago or a month
Yeah.
or so ago, the same situation happened, and there
With the
was a
bodega.
guy harassing the store owner, and the store owner was an older man, and I guess he thought he could bully him, and the old dude grabbed him around the neck and just started sticking him. And
And that
that guy
guy's going
died.
back to he's going back to the DR now. I read the other day. Now that he's been
Is he?
adjudicated, he says, I'm leaving.
Oh,
Said, I'm
wow.
tired with it. I came to America, live a better life. I get up here, y'all try to stab me. I end up in the system. Took him, I think, a couple of weeks to turn him loose. He said, I'm leaving, I'm going back home. The
Wow.
DR. So stop messing
Wow.
with people.
Yeah.
Well, I know, and we've got a few people in the chat. If you want to chat about what would you have done if this were you, and what were your perceptions of it, and then we're going to bring T.E. Foster on. She is a firearms instructor in New York State. But a lot of people who looked at this video, they're commenting that the store owner overreacted. That's what some people are saying. But now I would say what needs to be taken into account is what I said before. The video is the social climate. They were wearing masks, and did a store owner fear for his life, which is something that we wouldn't be able to necessarily see, whether or not he
But this
feared for
is a
his
ski
life.
mask.
But he could have felt fear, just like cops who claim, "Oh, I fear for my life," and they shoot people who have no weapon. So he didn't know. This guy, the store owner, didn't know if those um, would-be robbers had weapons. They were like the same physical size as him. One of them was even taller than him. So he could have feared for his life, especially when they broke that barrier, when that one broke the barrier and jumped over the counter. So what do you guys think about that? Because even though he didn't,
They
because I think,
definitely created a distraction when one jumped over and he went after him, then the other one jumped over. The second
well,
guy jumped, the one that he stabbed jumped over afterwards. And then the
well,
first guy jumped back over and ran out.
oh
Did you
yeah, because
notice
I didn't
that?
even see that part. Was that in the video?
On the right side of the
Yeah.
video in the beginning, the taller lean one
Mhm.
you were talking about, he's on the right
Yeah.
side of the screen. He starts leaning in, and the guy's trying to say, just take it and leave. And then his buddy jumps over the barrier.
Mhm.
That invades my personal space. That means you're coming to do harm to me, fight or flight.
Mhm.
Store owner
That's
decided he was
exactly
ready to
it.
fight that day.
Yeah, they chose violence.
So we're
As they
gonna bring
say,
in
they definitely
T.E.
chose
Foster
violence.
to the conversation. Welcome to the show, T.E. How's it going? Hey, Foster, are you hearing me? So we want to get your feedback, because I oftentimes, when we have shows, I post them on another board, a chat, and Foster was one of the people who commented and said the same thing that you're saying, Dwayne, that when they crossed over that barrier, of the counter, that was, something that the store owner could have feared for his life. And even though they might have, in hindsight, since we know what happened and we know, oh, they were just teenagers, we're using our, at the end of the movie, knowledge to talk about what the store owner should have known or how he should have reacted. And that's just not how it works. We don't know what he felt and how he felt. All we see is what the actions were. And of course he was on ready, and he should have been on ready, because apparently the knife was down by the side. And I can play it again if you want. Now I don't have you muted, do I? I'm trying to, let me see, let me work on unmuting Foster, because everybody else is unmuted and it's saying that you're, so I'm gonna work on unmuting you, and then we'll come back to Foster. So in the chat we have Clock Africa saying, I think the guy was scared, and even the temperament of what's going on.
Given the temperature of what's going on in the USA, he's just scared. Yep. I would agree with that. Yeah, you can't help but to be paranoid of two people coming to your shop wearing ski masks in the summer. Like, I don't care what's going on. When I see people in ski masks, in the summer especially, you automatically know that they're up to no good. So and when you see him grab the knife on the side of the register and kind of pull it up top where he can get to it, and he had it in his hand, and he kept his hands on it. So I don't blame him at all, because when they came in, I was surprised that he didn't have a door that buzzed in, considering it was a smoke shop. A lot of them have those doors so they can see what's going on outside the door before they come in. Because he could have seen them, even just pull those ski masks down, right, and then enter into the store. We're not privy to that, but I'm sure that's what they did. And they didn't have a plan, really. They came in very clumsily, we're just going to stand here until somebody says something else, and I'll just jump over the counter. Stupid.
Yeah.
And the guy that got stabbed ratted on his partner, right? You know that.
Told on everybody.
Yeah.
So did they say they caught everybody, or they caught, was it 2 of them or 3 of them?
I think it was 3. I stopped following after they said the guy didn't die. I said, Vegas Metro PD will take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
End of story.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to bring Foster back in. Welcome to the show, Foster.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. It's kind of delayed, but essentially, what are your thoughts on it, on the video? Because you had 2 different comments before. I guess one was leading to the other. But would you, if you were the prosecutor, would you bring charges against the store owner for his actions in that instance?
Good day, everyone. Sorry for having wow. As a reasonable person, I probably would. I definitely probably would, being that I live in the state of New York. And so it was almost clear that they were not a threat. They were children. Obviously, they were kids. And so they came out about with the backpack open. Like, I'm assessing and I'm seeing all this thing. Obviously, I'm not the store owner. So he was more tunnel vision. He may have been on flight mode. But for me, I noticed all those things. He came with the backpack on the front open. It's almost like the guy was very calm, very cool. The store owner, he handled it very well. Don't get me wrong. The distraction with the first kid, and the guy jumped over, the other kid jumped over the barrier. It was clear that he didn't necessarily want to bring harm to the shopkeeper or to the owner. He jumped away from him. He jumped towards him. The shop owner or the storekeeper ran towards the kid. But again, that's different as Vegas. They have a different law in New York. I'm thinking that 12 reasonable individual will probably bring charges against him in New York City. Definitely. And as a licensed social worker,
So
you assess all those the immaturity, all that's happening. Giggling, the laughing, and I'm not saying that again we're living in that climate, anything can go, but you kind of assess that and see what was happening. It was very playful, very like mischievous, like Again, we're living in that climate, anything can go, but you kind of
so
assess that and see what was happening. It was very
So yeah, well, there's a delay in your audio, but we did hear what you said. So there was another person who
Yet
commented.
another reason not to live in New York.
Well, and here's the thing, they said, why does the store owner have to temper his reaction to being assaulted and or being robbed because they were kids, because
Exactly.
that's his livelihood, and so it's like they're putting the responsibility for their criminality on the store owner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's an unfair assessment. You come onto my property and you threaten me, you get what you get. I don't have time to figure out or read your mind or your temperament or your body language. Are you or aren't you there to harm me? But when you walk in with a ski mask, you know, um, I think he did what any reasonable person would have done. And most people don't carry knives to stab people. If he'd been in Texas, he'd have got shot. Both of them would have got shot. Right where they stand.
So now Meeks is trying to Cornelius Meeks, he lives in Michigan. He's trying to join. I don't see a audio. Okay, I think I see audio. But here's what he said in the chat. He said he would have drawn
Right.
his gun as soon as they came in with the mask
To those
on.
masks, not for
And
COVID.
so okay, so that's what he's gonna say, and I'm gonna bring him on. But before I bring him on, Dwayne, would that have been appropriate for them to walk in with the mask on and you just automatically draw your gun and like, what's up?
Well, as long as not that I'm picking on New York and I'm not picking on California. I was stationed there for 12 years. Vegas is a different world. They do not play. Remember, I mentioned Vegas PD, Metro PD. They do not play. And as Phyllis said, you walk into my business, 2, 3 of you, I'm already outmanned, and you already have nefarious motives based on the way you're dressed. I don't care about you laughing and joking. Vegas is hot. If you think it's hot in Texas, go to Vegas.
Right.
They get maybe 35 minutes a day at 4:30 in the morning where it drops below 102 degrees. They walked in, whether or not they had weapons, it's still one man against 2 and 3. The odds are you're going to take a bad whipping. Fight or flight, you jump across the counter, whether you come towards me or you're back 2 feet from me, I'm cornered. If you think about that guy from the camera, he's cornered. You got the one kid to his right, which is our left, look at the screen, and the other one's right in front of him. He has no place to go. He's got 2 options. He can lay down or get down. He chose violence. He ended the fight, and he's probably going to be sitting in court one day and saying, yep, that's the man I stabbed. I was scared for my life. I was cornered, and the only thing I could do was fight my way out of it. I mean, this isn't, not like I said earlier, Grand Theft Auto Miami. Too many people play that. Think that's the way the games are played. Call of Duty. The real world does not get a reset.
Exactly.
You attack somebody, and it doesn't go your way, they're not going to stop. They're going to get their pound of flesh if you attack somebody.
What's also
Yes, ma'am.
going to happen? Sorry, great assessment. What's also going to happen? They're going to look at that video and really assess that video. That they mentioned he was cornered, but as soon as he grabbed whatever he was trying to grab, the other guy jumped the counter. The other one fled, so he really wasn't countered. He really wasn't cornered. At that time, he actually fled the scene. But again, this is New York mentality. Definitely New York mentality. It's a little different.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in the beginning. He was definitely cornered until one of them ran, and it happened so fast. Right, but that don't have nothing to do with me. Like if you run, that's on you. Because when y'all came in 2 against 1, right? and you're standing there. I don't know what you're doing. I'm like, what's up? What you want? And I say, and he said to them, why don't you guys just leave? He gave them the option to retreat, and they came on with it. Yeah, they chose, right? There's no,
So
yeah,
we
there's no, they have no defense to, and it's in my eyes, you have no defense.
so we've got Cornelius Washington Meeks from the Detroit area, Michigan, joining us. And Meeks, let me
Yes.
I want to go to the chat. Meeks is the proprietor of First Line Firearms Academy. And Meeks, we did read your comments, but what is your perspective on that video and what you would have done had that happened to you? Because you've already admitted in a prior uh, uh, show that you have shot two people in self defense, and so you don't have a problem shooting nobody. So Meeks is Meeks, what would you have done?
First of all, hello everybody. Can everybody hear me good?
Oh yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like you said, I've already had two self-defense shootings, so it's not something that I look to do. But both of those self-defense shootings happened at my home, and here in Michigan, our castle doctrine, our homes and our businesses and our occupied vehicles are all seen as the same thing. So you come into my home, you break the private threshold of my business into an area that is supposed to be secured for employees only, or you try to take me out of my vehicle, there's a presumption of imminent threat. Them being children, irrelevant. And I say that because these were white children. Now, let's face it, we as Black people know that this system treats our children like adults all the time. It's only right that we reciprocate it.
Indeed.
So I would have treated them young boys like grown men, because that's how they were acting, like two grown fools. You act like a grown man, I'm going to treat you like a grown man. You act like a child, I'll treat you like a child. So if they wanted to be treated like children, they should have came in without the mask on, asking for candy. Yeah, I'll give you a lollipop. But you come in with a mask on, act like a grown-up, I'm going to give you some lead. Now, I'm not saying I would have shot them right off, but I definitely would have drew my gun and said, get on the ground, get on the floor. And I would have given them the opportunity to leave. I wouldn't have gave chase. Yeah, go ahead and leave. I'll call the police. But you're not finna come into my business and think you're finna do me any kind of way. And TE, I love you, girlfriend. You're my sister. I love you to death. But I would not set foot in New York. I refuse. You have to come to Detroit to visit me.
I got you.
Because ain't no way I'm going to be in a bodega and somebody going to come in and try to rob me. And then the city of New York going to try to prosecute me for defending myself. I feel sorry for the cop to come to arrest me. That's all I know.
So let me so we've got a chat comment from OG Tank saying that the person who ran off could have been running off to get another weapon or ammo or coming back to rescue his friend. So that is what could have been happening. And that's leading me to something else that you brought up, Meeks, is that with the kids or the teenagers or the robbers, all three in this instance, they were it's like they assume that, oh, nothing's going to happen to me because this is just a teenage prank, or this is just whatever they felt like it was, whether they were laughing, but it's a serious offense. And so it's like you just said, if it would have been some Black boys doing that, they would have been these adults, and they would have been charged with an adult crime and this, that, and the third. But then they want us to look at their white teenagers as, oh, it's just kids and they're just playing a game, and they were just kids. Why'd you have to stab them? I'm like, come on now.
And let two Black kids walk in the business with ski masks on. See what happens.
Exactly my point.
They not gonna make it barely past the threshold. Walking
They ain't gonna
up
make it off the sidewalk.
That's what I'm saying. They ain't gonna make it off the sidewalk walking around with ski masks on.
Come on now.
Dwayne,
They don't have a leg to stand on with them ski masks. That did it.
Yeah.
Dwayne, did you want to add something?
I was just saying that one young man, he just got stabbed instead of getting gutted like a fish. If that individual had a slightly larger knife, say a 6-inch front to tap tang, he'd gutted him like a fish. Kids should be thankful. All he did was stab him, throw him on the ground, and call 911 for him. It's not a prank, like I said earlier. He set up his mental status when he jumped over that countertop. He may not have been fully cornered when he decided to fight, but like I said before, 2-3 people against one. Forget the Bruce Lee concept, Jean-Claude Van Damme, all that stuff. It doesn't work that way. You see people in those movies take 8, 9, 10 hits from a hand or a foot. It only takes one. And if it's 3 people, the odds are, I believe, of able, average attorney can get you out of that. The prosecutor could theoretically take you in, get a true bill, because as they say, an AD can indict a ham sandwich if he so chooses, because they get to set up the grand jury. Trust me, I've testified way more than the grand jury. I bring the evidence. As a prosecutor, all they have to do is turn me loose. There is no defense. Now, if a defense individual wants to come in there, they're a moron, because they're opening themselves up to a whole lot of stuff they don't need. I would say, I don't know the exact laws in Vegas, but I would think probably won't be anything of it. Now, there's always that civil side, because, I survived, you stabbed me. Okay, why did I stab you? That's a whole different storyline. But civil laws, civil statuses in courts are a lot easier to prove for the, victim than it is for the defendant. But on the criminal side, they started the fight. He ended the fight.
Indeed.
It's real simple. I know what I would say if I was his attorney. Did you jump over that counter, young man? Matter of fact, did you come in there with 2 other people, 1 other person? What was your intent? To rob him? Okay, thank you. You just admitted the man is out. He's outmaneuvered. He's outmanned. He's outpowered. He only has one option, in my opinion: fight back. Because how many times we've seen in the past news articles, people are compliant when they're robbed. They take them in the back, shoot them in the head.
Anyway, yes.
And most people are not for that party line. Like I said at the beginning, when the young man after he got stabbed said, "I'm dead," that told me too much video games.
Yes.
Reset when you make a mistake. Video games, you can play all day, you get killed. Okay, I got another life. Real world, it's not going to happen that way. As that young man found out, for the rest of his life, he's probably going to have issues with his, I don't know, he might have a bag. I doubt if he'll have clots, but he's going to have problems with his legs and his arms where he got stabbed at for the rest of his life. He's got trauma, and he's going to be like, what was I thinking?
Because he screamed so with that first stick.
Yeah.
He let out a scream, ow!
You see it all the time. Hey, I was a young, dumb 17, 18, 19-year-old. I did my share of stupid stuff, not criminal. I've got the scars that I'll live with till the day I die, the injuries. It's just been at that time frame, I was like, I can do this, till I couldn't do it. Then you're like, why is my leg turned the wrong way? Why is my hand not functioning anymore? Or in his case, it had 7 stick wounds in him. He figured it out. But like Meek said, they'll get in court. Little Johnny was such a good kid. And if I'm his attorney, if I was an attorney, I'd be like, well, why was little Johnny in there trying to rob the store?
The smoke shop at that, trying to obtain.
I wasn't even going there. I was going to go like, why were you in there trying to strong arm robbery? Now, I'm not saying he has a weapon or not, but it's still physical robbery. That's a felony.
He trying to rob the weed shop.
Thank you. Vegas, you can walk up and down the strip, just getting your toe going, walking all the stores off. There's no need to rob them. Buy it.
Well, he's underage. They're underage. They're teenagers, right?
Phyllis, I'm just going to say, if he really wanted some weed, he could go to where the FBI field office is the line where they used to have the delineation between the Bloods and the Crips in Vegas. They put the FBI office there. 10, 12 years ago. So all you do is go over by the FBI office, walk 2 blocks over, buy all the weed he wants, and it's not that far from the strip.
And that's what I didn't understand either. Like, you don't know anybody you could have gotten some smoke from that you decide you're gonna rob a store with your buddy, just the two
Was that
of
a
you.
was that a cannabis shop or was that?
It was. I thought it was a smoke shop.
It looked like a smoke shop to
I
me.
think it's a regular hookah shop, like a regular cigar. I don't think it was a cannabis spot.
So they were trying to rob somebody for hookah.
That's even
They was
worse.
trying to rob
But
the
that's
one.
even-
That's
They
even
already
worse
had
than
the
the
weed.
hookah,
They
man.
were trying to rob the papers. They ain't had no way to smoke. They weren't smart enough to take a pop can and punch a few holes in it and make a bomb.
Hey,
Oh my God!
you go buy some
They
Swisher
risked
Sweets,
their
they tell
whole
me.
life over hookah.
Like I said,
Whatever.
They ain't know about taking the page out the Bible and rolling it up.
Hey,
Oh no!
hey,
I'm old school.
hey, they learned a lesson they will never forget.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, they
Yeah.
learned a very valuable lesson, I do believe, and the one that will stick with them forever, because now he's going to have a serious record for robbery. And like I said, the owner, he didn't know. Yeah, and the comment in the chat from OG Tank, they wanted to rob a business that deals in a lot of cash. Exactly. So they've obviously been watching him. They knew he was the only one in there. They walked in there just as calm, acting very suspicious and, all antsy. And he gave them an opportunity to leave. He said, "Hey, why don't you guys just leave?" And they chose violence.
He did better than I would have because he told him, go ahead and take the tip jar. I
He
don't
did, he
look like
did, he
drop my tip jar.
He
I ain't taking
Yeah.
nothing out of here, but I got some lead. Take that with you.
He said he wants to change. He needs to change. But keep dollars, the paper money.
No, I want all my money.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, no, go ahead.
The other thing that I thought of, and even obviously this is Nevada, the owner, he started talking to the news reporter saying that he didn't see a firearm. So my thought is, after a situation, do you start talking like that, right? Do you start just, because anything you say can be used against you in court of law, so obviously he's not going to use that. I was feared for my life. I thought they had a firearm, whatever the case may be. He didn't see one, really. So I'm just thinking about how he kind of was given information, like no one counseled him before that, no one said to him, you shouldn't speak to these news reporters,
Yeah,
He obviously does not have firearm legal protection, and we're in no to shut up.
Hey,
Yeah.
like I said the last time, he's never watched the Pot Brothers at Law YouTubes. Dealing with, but no, seriously, if you watch their YouTubes from about 3-4 years ago, they say one thing: you get picked up in a dispensary, shut up, don't say a damn thing, give them your name, and call us. They say because the bottom line is, if you start talking, it's hard to undo what you said. You can't be held accountable for anything. Look, my name is Donald Duck Soup. I'm 36 years old. Take me to jail. I want my attorney.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You would like Mike Epps say, give me some Red Lobster and I'm gonna start talking. Just take me to jail.
Hey, well, hey, first 48, every time they get them in the room, they start doing like this.
Yes.
And they bring them some chicken or soda. Who can get ready to sell out the neighborhood?
Listen.
He don't care. He'll sell out his grandmama, his baby mama. If it gets him from out of jail, they sell out the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Sometimes all they want is a cigarette. If they smoke and they keep them from smoking for hours, they want a cigarette, baby. They get that cigarette. They take the longest draw of life and they start talking.
Oh, they be thinking like, if I tell, I can go home in 2 weeks. If I don't tell, I'm doing 2 years. Let me think about that. Sell their buddies out. They don't care.
Mm-hmm. But they usually incriminate themselves right along with it, though.
Yeah, they aren't smart enough. They don't, like I said.
You can't tell on everybody else without telling on yourself.
Pot Brothers at Law. That's applicable for any time the police talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have nothing to say. Here's my driver's license. Here's my registration.
Yeah.
One thing we all know is that criminals are intrinsically stupid.
Stupid.
Mm.
Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
they're not the brightest knives in the drawer.
Right.
They're not the brightest bulbs in the socket. They just not all the way there because naturally they are going against their natural instincts of right and wrong. They know it's wrong. They have to battle with themselves to do wrong. So they're already not thinking clear.
Yeah, they had to be high to think they could get away with that.
They just plus there's the issue of white privilege too. They think ain't nothing gonna happen to them.
Oh yeah, no, that's the number one. That's the number one right there.
You know, because if these were black teenagers, they would have went in there a little more prepared. The black teenagers would have been a little bit more prepared. They would have came in there. Two of us ain't enough. Yeah, it's only one of him, but we don't know what he got. We need a few more fellas.
You need more muscle.
Yeah, one of us need to have a gun, even if it's a toy gun.
I was just about to say one of them would have had a gun. Nobody, you don't rob somebody empty-handed. Like, I don't know how they thought that they were just gonna jump over the counter and be able to jump back out, jump in, jump out, and run out the door.
Well, they must have cased the place before. I would think they probably had been in there before, and they felt like, oh, it's just this one guy in there by himself at this time of day, and so we can go in there and grab some stuff, and just didn't, they just got the wrong dude. Dude was like, I'm not having it. So yeah, that's probably what happened.
When he grabbed that dude, you couldn't see his face, but he froze and he was like, nah. Like, let me go.
Right.
Take that with
you. They just expected for them, like you said, Meeks, for them to be able to just go in there and do what they want to do and run out. And that's a part of the problem. It reminds me of the opening story in what's the book, The Art of War. Did anybody read The Art of War? Essentially, it was like a harem of women. They were entertaining the king, and so they were supposed to be doing the dance for the king, but they kept messing up the dance, and they would giggle, ha, 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 we messed up. And so the king said, y'all supposed to be entertaining me, get it right. And they messed up one more time, and he took the head dancer, he cut her head off in front of everybody, and all the other girls, he didn't have no problem out of them after that. Because if you make a good enough impression on somebody with the way that you prosecute them, or what's the word I'm looking for?
For future criminals
out of that person well enough, you ain't gonna have no problem out of the rest of the people. Now, the problem is the people who are in charge of the criminal justice system. It's like, we know when it's a black person that comes before them or does a crime, they make an example out of them. So that reminds me of the people who are familiar with this back in 1985, let's say, the high school team that was in Dallas, Texas, the football team, they won the championship.
The Dallas Carter Cowboys, yeah.
And in that summer, they claimed the high school kids, between graduation and getting the scholarships to go to college, they were like, oh, we don't have no money, man. What we gonna do, man? So their little clique of like 5 people, they said, oh, you work at the Burger King, so we're gonna come and rob your store and pretend that we're robbing you, and you pretend you don't know us, and you hand over the money. And then they went to, now you work at Wendy's, we're gonna do your store next week. We're gonna do your store. And then of course the co-workers didn't realize, they thought we're really getting robbed. And so all it took, like you said, was one person who couldn't hold the story, and they were wrong, of course, and couldn't hold the story, and ended up telling on them, and they gave them 30 years, 25 years.
They did about 20.
They did about 20 years each, and of course lost their future. And what's the one guy, Dwayne, if you remember his name, who was a part of their clique but did not participate in the robberies, and of course went on to do great things, was a all-star, all winning football player, got all pro, can't remember his name, but they had potential to do great things in their lives, but because they made that mistake, and it was a terrible mistake, and it was a crime, and then they got before that judge, and they thought the judge is just going to give us probation or whatever because we're kids. No, he gave them 20 years.
And I can tell you, one of them, when he got out, didn't stay out long. He ended up on our radar, and we sent him back to federal prison.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was living in Mansfield.
So
He went out with a year, maybe a year, and he ended up on our radar for fraud. We sent him right back to jail. I saw the case. I was like, I know that dude's name. So I went and looked. One of them.
now, as we're closing up, there was one story that I wanted us, and Phyllis, this is the one that we talked about in Philadelphia, where a mother of 6 was stabbed and killed by her children's father, and last Saturday, as a matter of fact. And it's just a tragedy because this comes back around to women having taking serious their self-defense plan, and what they just have a plan. And if you are planning on leaving someone, or you're having issues with someone, a domestic issue, then take it seriously and make the break and quit going between and all of that, because you are playing with people's emotions, and you just want people to take you seriously, and people are not going to take us seriously, us whoever we are, if we continue to go back and forth on the decisions that we make for our lives. So I wanted to show this right fast, this video that talks about what happened with this story, and then we can get our comments on that. And there was I'm gonna try to find the GoFundMe page for this as well. So the family, of course, with six children, the youngest being 6 or 7 months old, up to around 8 or 9. The family is going to try to keep the kids together, but it's going to be hard because the mother is now deceased at the hand of the father, and the father is going to prison. So let me see if we can play this.
Stabbed in front of this grocery store in broad daylight on Saturday, and now the father of her children is charged with murder, and her family hopes that her death serves as a wake-up call for other women.
And when I say she was loyal to this man, very loyal, diehard loyal, do anything for him. And I mean, they just got engaged recently, and so for this to happen, it's not shocking, but it's tragic.
Ashley Lockhart died Saturday after police say she was brutally stabbed multiple times in this minivan by her boyfriend, Raymond Thompson. This surveillance video, obtained by Fox 29, shows Thompson just minutes before the attack. The DA's office confirmed that Thompson was well known to police and that Ashley had filed a protection from abuse order against him. But despite the PFA, they were still living together.
I don't have specifics to answer for you on this man's record. I do know that it's very lengthy, and I know the case is extremely sad and very, very troubling. I would agree with that for sure.
And this particular victim obviously did the right thing. For some reason, she was back with this man in that particular van. I don't know the circumstances of that. I don't know why that was. But sadly enough, she's not going to be here to tell us what happened.
The DA says Thompson turned himself in Saturday right after the stabbing, which is little comfort to Ashley's family, grieving the loss of the mother who had 6 children with Thompson, the youngest just 5 months old.
She loved everybody. She had a reputation of just compassion and love. And for her children, she was a nurturer.
The family has set up a GoFundMe to help Ashley Lockhart's 6 children, ranging in age from 5 months to 10 years old. If you'd like to donate, we have a link on our website. Just go to fox29.com. Tonight at 7 o'clock, there will be a memorial held for.
All right, so I just wanted to we just wanted to share that because so many things are going on. You would just think there are certain people in your life that you can trust to have your best interests at heart, especially a person who you share children with. And, for whatever reason, that in that instance is not the case. And we just wanted to um, just give our condolences to the family, and just to say, just watch yourself, and be sure about your movements and who you allow to be in your personal
And don't
space.
take it for granted because you have a protective order. That is just a piece of paper. He does not care about that piece of paper. And more than likely, most times in these situations, is when the aggressor finds out that there is a protective order, that sends them over the edge. Too many times, because they're in the house together, so he probably didn't know. And when he found out, that sent him right over the edge and made him kill her. And it's awful. It's awful. But if you're gonna put a protective order on him, get away from it completely. And when you
So
file that paperwork, get you a gun.
so we're gonna give out, and then come to training and learn how to shoot straight.
Indeed.
So let's so did you want to add anything, Foster, to end out the show, and then we'll go to Meeks, and then we'll end with Gibson.
I think the only thing I would like to say as it relates to co-defendants, right? You don't need one. I think people need to understand that when they're in situations, you sit there, you plan out all this life of crime, but co-defendants, you see what happens. They leave you right there. So get that life, do it by yourself. But it will sell you upstream.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Meeks, any last words?
I didn't know about that video that you just played, and I'm still processing that. That kind of hit me hard because I'm always been a very big protector of women. I had a single mother and a grandmother who were very instrumental in my life, and even though I've been married twice, I can honestly say that both of my ex-wives helped me become a better person. I don't really understand how you can have 6 children with somebody
And then kill them.
and and have that much anger and hatred toward them. I will just leave. I could never do something like that to the mother of my children. I can't stand my son's mom, but that's my son's mom. She don't like me either, and that's okay. But I wish no death upon her. I wish no harm upon her. My daughter's mom and I get along very well. We friends. We so much friends. It disturbs her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Little did he know I'm helping her keep him. Because she would have been broke up with his dumb ass. And I don't get it. I really don't understand it. And I don't want to say anything that could be misconstrued as victim blaming.
Mm-hmm.
But ladies, sometimes it's better to be by yourself.
Amen.
Just be by yourself. I know it's better for me.
Indeed.
I'm not getting married again. I'm not getting in no more relationships. I'll maybe buy me a dog and that's it. It's just better to be by yourself sometimes. It don't matter if you had 6 kids with that man.
Well, in
He
this
did his part.
situation with them 6 kids, she didn't want him anymore. He didn't have anywhere else to go. A lot of times the woman is the sole provider, all kinds of situations, and whatever it was about her putting that protective order on him sent him over the edge to the point that he walked up on her and stabbed her in broad daylight.
Well, you know what? And you're right, Phyllis. But I blame his mama for that.
Oh, yeah.
Because she babied him so much. And if she ain't around no more, that's what he looking for is another mama. Every man looks at the woman in his life and weighs her against his mama because our mothers is the first woman we ever loved.
Yeah, and I've said that before. A man ain't gonna treat you no better than he treat his own mama.
There it is. And hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
But I also question what trauma did she go through to even keep inviting someone like that into her life?
Well, she
Even
had
if
6
he did,
kids with him, and
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, you know, love
Yeah,
has a
she
multitude.
didn't have
Love can
septuplets.
hide a
She had
multitude
6
of
back
faults.
to back, back to back. So this was an ongoing thing.
Well, you know, as they say, love has a multitude of faults. And when you got children with somebody, sometimes you feel like, okay, I got to do what I got to do to take care of my kids. But as soon as I get on my feet, I'm out of here. And there's no telling how many times she said that. You know,
Yeah,
when I get on
yeah,
my feet, I'm out of here.
yeah,
I'm sick of you. I'm
yeah.
tired of
Because
you.
getting out of those types of relationships is not easy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easier said than done, especially when you
Exactly.
have multiple children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
And
6 children ain't nothing to shake, to shake a
no,
stick at.
no,
That's a lot of children.
yeah.
Amen.
You
That's
know,
why I
I
don't comment on
feel
those things. I don't know what I would do in those
What'd you say,
situations.
T?
I said that's why I don't
Yeah,
comment on those things because I'm not in the situation. Like I said, I'm strong, I'm this and that, but I don't know. So I stay away from those situations. You know?
yeah.
So speaking of the man with the dog in the house, Dwayne, what are your thoughts and comments? Your comment and thoughts on that, and the because you might have seen a case like that before, although probably as a retired agent, you saw different types of violence. But what are your thoughts on things like that in women and protective orders and separating yourselves in that instance?
Phyllis hit it on the head out the box. This is just a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally unstable individuals, male or female, it's a piece of paper that once they know about it, it may set them on fire, turn them loose like a wild rocket going to the moon. Some of them might abide by it. Best advice I would say to any male or woman, any male or female, if you do that, get you some personal contact weapons. A set of brass knuckles in Texas, kitty ears, aspartame, a lead sap, anything that's close combat that you can use that does not take 2 feet to get into action, because you can't always get
A sock with a can of vegetables in it.
that's anything that can use within a 24-inch radius. Everybody thinks I'm gonna go to my gun. You got to pull your gun out. That's 2 feet of work right there. Getting your hand on it, pulling it out. If you're in a car having work surveillance, it doesn't work very well trying to get to it. Now, the items I just said, don't get in my car and look for them, because you'll find brass knuckles, aspartame, you'll find a knife, you'll find a bunch of close quarters combat. Because sometimes you don't want to shoot nobody. Sometimes, like I said, everybody knows what a lead sap is, right? It's an old police tip. It's an old police tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 ounce piece of lead in a leather holder. You probably can't have it in New York. Sorry about that. But that ends a fight in about 2 seconds flat.
Yes, it does.
In 1 second, put it away. They're on the ground with a shattered jaw, and you just walk away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, a lot of people, and brass knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, wintertime's coming. They go in your pocket. All the stuff
Yeah.
I just said goes in your pocket. Yes, I have a devious mind. I'm retired now. I can do all of this stuff.
My grandmother gave us a sock with a can of green beans in it. You know, the old school football socks.
Yeah.
Them long socks.
Yeah. I got another one. Hey, Phyllis. Hey, ladies, go to the bank, depending on the size of your hands, a roll of quarters.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Roll of nickels. That's just as good, because your knuckles won't get banged up and you won't break a finger. You put it in and you wrap your hand around it and you sock somebody with it, they're probably going to leave you alone and probably take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not advocating violence, just the opposite. As Meek said, me and my ex-wife, I just started reintroducing her to firearms. She said, I'll take you. I said, I'll take you. Come on, let's go. So she's reintegrating herself in that, along with taking some of my personal weapons into process, as in content, not my handguns. Hey, can I have one of those? Yeah, whatever. I'd much rather have it
than not.
But she's still part of my responsibility, regardless of the fact that we haven't been married for over a decade. She's still part of my responsibility, period.
Indeed.
And that's something else a lot of men don't think about. I divorced you, I'm out. No, especially if you got kids. All our kids are grown. It doesn't make any difference. You never lose that responsibility. I think Shaq put out a video a week or two ago.
Yeah.
If you look at it as a man, you understand what he's saying. It doesn't matter. You don't have time to worry about. Your job is their protection to the best of your ability, whether it's support, physical contact. Sometimes you might have to do damage to somebody, but that's part of the responsibility that you take on in a relationship, whether it lasts 2 years, 20 years, or your lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And last resort, ladies and men, if you have the ability to have a firearm, you might want to look into getting one. Find somebody that knows something about firearms, take some classes, meet some people. Not that I want you to shoot anybody. It's no fun, but it's nice to have it. It's better to have it and never need it than to need it and not have it.
Indeed.
And on that note, we want to thank all of you for taking the time out to join us on Second Amendment Sis. And we'll definitely invite you guys back for another episode. So you guys stay safe out there and keep your head on the swivel.
Everybody stay safe. Enjoy your week.
All right. So Phyllis, we will what do we have going on? Did I cut Phyllis off? I'm so sorry. All right. Foster, I'm gonna say bye to you, and I'm gonna end up. Oh no, there she is. All right.
Phyllis at?
Okay, I know.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Phyllis. I accidentally.
You guys showing up Sunday?
I am.
I got you, Stephanie.
I am.
I'm just asking.
She's here. She's here.
Yeah, she's
so,
back.
Dwayne, we thank you for being our resident LEO expert of the night. And we will see you. So are we meeting at the gun range Sunday?
Yes, ma'am. I'm asking. I'll put your name on the list if you want to be there. I'm compiling the list for this week.
Okay. And what are we working on, or is that a secret that we can't find out till we get there?
No, Phyllis. What we doing Sunday?
My friend here never follows the dialogue, and she talks. Okay. She'll say it like, "What y'all talking about? I don't know what y'all talking about."
Stephanie, Sunday.
It is Sunday. It is post.
Sunday. We're gonna practice.
Yeah, long range.
Not handgun, with long guns.
Yes, with long guns.
So basically, whether you have a 5.56 AR-15 or a 308, if you don't have one, bring some ammo. I'll probably have a gun there. Probably be a couple of people have a gun. As Phyllis found out, Phyllis was out there working it out last time.
I got my own now, baby.
Oh, you got 308?
Oh, I got my AR-15.
I'll bring that with you too.
Yeah.
But Phyllis was out there working it out last time.
I was the only female. I was the lone female.
Come on, Stephanie. Don't worry. Phyllis, did you feel lonely? Did you feel abused? Or
no, I had a ball. Are you kidding me? I had a ball. I had such a good time. I decided to do my own build and got all my stuff in, and then I went this past Saturday and zeroed, and now I'm ready. I'm waiting on another accessory to come in today. Actually, I was asking my daughter to check the front porch.
I'm waiting on the kitchen.
Yeah. I'm just I really enjoy it. I think I like shooting a long gun better than I do a handgun, to be quite honest.
Fun. Yeah. It's a different skill set. It
definitely is. That's why I told Jeffrey Booker, I said, I'm coming with my Posturepedic mat, and we're gonna do this all day, Jeffrey.
So now, Dwayne, I saw your post earlier. Speaking of Stephanie not knowing anything,
yes,
I saw your post earlier on that thing. Let me see. I think I still have it up. When you were talking about
it's a container top for when you buy gas grenades.
Yeah,
basically the military, like I said, the military and the police department, when you take those out, you have to bring back evidence that shows you dispersed those, because the quartermaster has to mark those off as being utilized on a certain day for certain things. That's some civilian. You can buy them online, and they're out there practicing. Phyllis, that's the same range we were shooting on.
Was that the same lane? The same. You kept. That's the second one.
That's the second. The first one's right there. Yeah, the first one's right when you walked up. When you walk up the ramp, you're going down where we're shooting. The first one's right there. This one is about 50 yards down in the middle of all the dirt, just laying there. We found it by accident. I said, somebody's out here practicing. They're, as I've told the group, when it gets cooler, get your gas mask. We're gonna spend a day one day. You're gonna put your gas mask on, no filter, just We're going to go out about 5-10 yards. You're going to see what it's like to put that mask on, see if you're claustrophobic. Because, think about, you go back 2 years, they blame BLM and Antifa. I don't buy that. I believe it was everybody doing it. But the first thing police do in a riot is start throwing tear gas, OC spray, and you don't have to be involved in it. But if you just happen to have one, yeah, there you go. That's it. It tells you exactly what it is. That's the cap that comes off of the canister. When you pull it out, they tear that off. That's a seal. It says it's in the canister. They tore that off. They just threw it on the ground. And basically, it's probably a little, like a soda can size grenade. It just has holes. It's perforated by. When they pull the tab, it just spews out foam, gas, which is tear gas. And if you walk into it, your eyes, your nose, all that stuff starts.
Yeah, everything comes out.
It ain't no fun.
Everything come out. Everything come out.
No fun. Trust me, I done been there one time too many.
Yeah.
That's why I keep advocating. You notice, and again, and I said it and say, look, it's better to have a mask and never need it than to need it and don't have it.
Not have it. Exactly.
You can smell that stuff. I'm thinking one of these days I'm gonna have to take one of the little small ones that that you can buy to put in your purse in your back pocket and just squirt it, let everybody smell it. Like, do you understand what I'm telling you now?
It is horrible. There's a video out that they were doing a training, an army training, and this guy, they did the gas, well, they sprayed him.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to keep fighting and keep moving. And so he's going and he's fighting, and he gets to the second guy he's supposed to fight. But by then the spray has set in on his face, and he lets out this scream, and he's supposed to be saying, "Get back," and he goes, "Ooh!"
That stuff ain't no fun. You get a good hit, and that's tear gas.
Horrible.
That's tear gas. That ain't the good stuff like the poly OC spray.
Yeah.
Poly encapsulate. You haven't been there and played with that. That'll make the baddest football player turn into a crying baby trying to get into a bucket of water. So I'm gonna keep advocating the group until somebody figures it out.
So are we gonna at some point, Dwayne, practice? Because mine is on the way. My package that you helped me to purchase, it's been in transition for a week. So hopefully in the next day or two, I'll get it. So we'll put practice on that at some point.
When it gets cooler, because if you've never worn a gas mask, the one thing you don't want to do is get introduced when it's 100 degrees outside. Like I said, when it gets cooler, it'll be like, everybody bring your gas mask. If you notice now, I keep saying, everybody got an individual first aid kit, right? I'm saying that so I can stop saying it. Hopefully in the next month, I don't have to ask anybody. You have it on your bag.
Yeah.
I get tired of saying it. I ain't gonna lie. I just want people to get it here.
I have mine hanging on my bag.
That's what I'm saying. Some people are, I'm like, dude, I said it last week. Hey, you get shot, you ain't getting my tools. I'm using your stuff. So it behooves you to have.
You have to replenish your own bag. Yeah.
I say that's what the military taught me. Dwayne goes down, use his gear because my gear is for me. That's just survival of the fittest. But yes, Stephanie, when it gets cooler in a couple of months, everybody bring your gas mask. Why? Just bring the gas mask. And also, coming up in the near future, have you either one of you shot 147 grain 9mm ammo yet? Stephanie, it doesn't matter if you and your 45, it's all 230 grains. But 9mm, most of us practice with 115, maybe 124, and your duty ammo is 147.
So the answer probably is no.
Well, for your 45, it doesn't matter because it's all one caliber. It's all one weight.
Oh, yeah.
Training or service is 230 for 45. That's a good thing. But most people shoot 9, and you go by, it's 147 grain. That's what I shoot with it. I practice with it, but I'm also every now and then I'll grab some of my service, load up a magazine, just to remind myself what it feels like, because your gun reacts differently with 147 grain ammo. So that'll be coming up too, Phyllis. But no, for you, see how you shoot a 45, Stephanie? It doesn't really matter for you.
Well, don't be telling people what I'm working with, Dwayne. It's supposed to be a secret to the masses. Only a certain.
Most of us said no. We know when you pull out that gun with them nice little kind of chartreuse little handles. We know, oh, that's a 45. That's a gun. That's a gun. We know exactly. And when you see the magazine, it's only got 7 rounds, and we know exactly what that is. Those of us that know.
It's chartreuse.
It's kind of chartreuse. Yeah, kind of something like this shirt. I don't know. I don't know colors. I know black, brown, and blue and white. That's all I know.
I did get me some more magazines so I could have a whole bunch. So that's
Get that
That'll save you
extender on
time
there,
reloading
right?
when I'm out there. We're on the 5-yard line. We're on the 15. Just give me another magazine. I ain't got time for this.
exactly.
That was it. So yeah. Any of y'all got brass knuckles yet? No.
No,
All right.
but
I'll
it's
remember
on
to
the,
bring examples. I'll bring a couple examples on Sunday and next handgun firearms for everybody. Like, look, you might want to get some of these brass knuckles, aspartame, lead sap.
I got a package of mace pepper spray, like a 4-pack, so I can put it in different purses that I carry.
Don't try and get it through the airport now. I don't want to be coming to see you trying. We're here trying to get Stephanie Rivers out. You know anybody? No, man, I don't know nobody. We got to go the old school way. We got to find a bail bondsman to get you out.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
And then when you get out, I'm gonna be like, now what in the world made you get on that plane? Get to that airport and forget.
Trying to get through security with some
Right.
pepper spray.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
when
you
I'm
should come Sunday if you can. I think you'll enjoy it. It was really. We spent the majority of the time on the ground though.
Yeah.
Because we're shooting
I
prone.
will. I'll look at my schedule and I'll certainly try to be there. I try to be there when I can now.
Right, I'll put your name on my paper list because I got to put out another post. Look, everybody get me a name by Friday night, 9 o'clock. Because I was out there today and I was talking to Erica in the shed. I said, look, I'll get you the paperwork by Saturday. That way, everybody that works in the shed will know that when we come up, I'm with community, Stephanie Rivers, Phyllis Petit, Donald Duck, Marvin. Give me your $20 going in there.
Yeah.
Marvin.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So it's been real, and thanks for the information. Thanks, Phyllis, for being here. And we want to thank you, guests, for being here for another episode of Second Amendment Sis, and we'll see you guys the next time.
All right. See you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
See you